Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next session of From Nothing, Tam's story. We are jumping ahead to the next day, where you wake up on time, probably. And you go to get yourself breakfast, I'm sure.
He does, yes, indeed.
Okay. One moment, please. Let me roll to see just how well the golems do at making breakfast. Okay. It seems like there was an accident in the kitchen this morning, as what has been supplied are toasts and various preserves. It's good enough to fill you, but it is nothing spectacular. Should you eat breakfast, you gain 2 temporary hit points.
I mean, he'll eat some toast. Toast is good to have.
Yeah. There is, when you look in the kitchens behind the open counter, you see there are cauldrons that have been tumbled over, pans on the floor, and these giant armored suits are laboriously cleaning up the messes.
Oh no.
So something happened.
Is there any like clue about what it is that happened? Or
Roll me
is that
investigation.
yeah. I have a +2 to that now. Nope. That doesn't help me. 7.
7. There's a lot of feathers.
Huh. So like a chicken maybe got loose or something? This is Tam's working theory, that a chicken was somehow loose in the kitchen.
Perhaps. Could be. You don't know, but that's a good it's a good guess. But you
right.
eat breakfast and then make your way to the Bard classroom.
Sure do.
All right. I will activate this map. As you enter, the Bard class is just beginning. As you are looking around, Nore is seated on a chair looking at you, and Tally says, Tam!
Hello.
You're sparring with Nore today.
Oh my
She
gosh, I'm
mentioned
sparring?
you're sparring. She mentioned you wanted to learn the sword, so
Yeah.
get on it.
Okay. Is magic allowed in sparring?
No, it's sparring. You're just trying to poke each other.
We're just trying to poke each other. Okay, good to know. Good to know.
And so Nore stands up from the chair. And she looks you over and she says, "Right. What do you know how to use already?"
Rapier. I can use a rapier. I'm okay with a bow, I guess. I have a little crossbow that I used to play around with sometimes.
We're just using melee right now.
Okay.
You have a rapier.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's see what you got.
Okay.
And you're gonna roll initiative right now.
Poor Tim was like, all right, I don't, okay. That's fitting. He rolled a 10.
Nore. Okay, that's very aggressive sound. Hold on. This is not quite the right music, even though Yithrun is happily playing as you and Nore begin to spar. Hold on a minute.
I feel like this happened so fast he didn't even get to go, like, tap Ethan on the shoulder like he usually does, and he's looks kind of panicked about it, and I like to imagine, like, this is part of why he's, like, trying to figure out if he has time to do that, and that's why he rolled so low on initiative.
Absolutely, it's perfect. Oh, come on. Foundry, please. Alright, so Foundry sometimes likes to just not care that I'm telling it to play music.
Oh no! It's okay, I can imagine Tally playing some sort of battle march on the, Sham? Is it Sham that she has?
Shamison.
Shamson.
Alright, so Nore is going first, and you watch as she, with a flourish, tucks a shield, a round shield. It's a skull out from her back on her left arm, and she twirls a short sword in her right hand, and she just kind of bounces on her toes looking at you. She says, "This might hurt. Best of luck." And she suddenly darts forward. And she is swinging non-lethal, but it will probably still hurt.
Good. Yes.
Or not. I rolled a 10 to hit.
Okay, that I don't have a higher armor class because I have a 14, so that doesn't hit.
Okay. So, as Nore seems to maybe underestimate just how proficient Tam is with a rapier, Nore very much choreographs her first move, and you easily dodge out of the way.
Cool.
That's her turn. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna. If I can't use magic, and I can't run away, then Tam will attack with his rapier.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, this is inventory. Sorry.
No worries.
I'm not even used to being over here. Nope, that's nothing. That's a 7. That doesn't hit her at all.
Your attempted thrust with the rapier bounces off the shield as she lazily swats it away. And she just kind of looks at you and says, "Okay, you're going to have to do better than that."
I'm trying. I'm not used to sword fighting.
Well, get used to it quick. And she slashes the short sword at you.
Fair.
That's a 13 to hit, which you said does not hit.
Doesn't
Okay.
hit me.
So you manage to deflect this swing narrowly. You raise the rapier up and deflect the short sword away. It's kind of a half-hearted swing. It wasn't really trying to get through your guard. It seems as though maybe she's testing you.
Okay.
Go ahead. It's your turn.
Okay. Okay. I can do this. I can do this. That's a 23 to hit.
Yep, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Ooh, and that's max damage. 9 points.
Now, is this non-lethal?
Oh my god, absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
So as you land a good blow, getting it just past the shield, Nore twists her shoulder back and she says, "Oh, that's more like it. Okay. Keep that guard up." And she comes at you. Oh, very fitting. That's a 19 to hit.
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay. So non-lethally, the flat of this short sword basically smacks you upside the side of your head for 6 points of damage. So as your bell is slightly rung, Nore dances back, twisting the short sword in her hands. Good start. What else you got?
Ow.
Ow.
16.
A 16. No, that is not enough. It's only just not enough.
She's so well reinforced, and I am so not.
She has a shield. It's crazy. So this time, the rapier thrust is much more on target, and she does actually have to get the shield up in front of her face to protect herself from this blow. And she, as she parries the rapier stab away, she looks over the shield and says, "All right, that's better. That's better. How about this?" And she will come up low, and I need... Well, first I have to hit. That's a 16 to hit. All right.
16 hit.
I need you to make an athletics check.
Okay.
She's trying to trip you.
18.
18's pretty good. See how she
Seems
did.
like he's pretty good at... Less good at offense, pretty good at defense.
That's a 21.
Yeah, that'll get
So it is a tricky move that she pulls as she darts in, swinging the short sword high, but it's a feint. Suddenly she dips low and her foot tangles up behind your feet, and you feel your balance getting thrown behind you, and you are poof on your back.
You don't have to work that hard to get me on the ground. Ow. Okay. Okay. Can I get
Nora
up?
is like looking down at you. Yeah, it's your turn.
Can I can get up first?
Yeah, you can get up.
Okay. All right. I don't really know if there's any way that he can be sneaky about. Like, he doesn't have anything. He's guileless. He doesn't. Is there a way? Is there like any way that he can try to get her shield out of her hand with his rapier?
You can
somehow?
attempt to disarm her.
Okay.
You make a called attack on the hand that has the shield, which means that the attack is at disadvantage.
Okay. That's terrible, but he'll do it.
Give it a shot. Should the attack be
That's a
successful?
Natural one. Absolutely
Okay.
not. Absolutely not. Oh, that's hilariously 2 natural ones in a row.
Oh my god. So many womp womps.
Tam is not Tam. Man, he's just not in his heart.
I'm gonna say with 2 natural ones, Tim drops his rapier.
Yeah, that checks out. He tries to like wedge it up in there, and it like doesn't work, and it like flies off.
It's like literally gets stuck behind one of the bands of the shield and then falls on the ground. And Nori looks down at it and then up at Tam and says, "What the fuck was that?"
Was trying to get your shield away, and it didn't work.
You're gonna have to do better than that. And she will step in, and she's just gonna shield bash you.
Oh, God.
So she swings the shield at you, basically just a boomf, and that's a 17 to hit.
Yeah,
okay, so this is, I mean, that's 4 points of bludgeoning damage, as the shield just, with this resounding whoomp of the shield bouncing off of your face.
Oh. Does he also fall or just stumble?
Nope. It's just a bash. It doesn't like move you or anything like that.
Okay.
She took the chance to use the humorous attack because that was ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's now your turn.
so here's a question: do I have to move out of her threatened area to get my rapier? Or
No, it's right on the ground between your feet, between you.
So can he look? He save any face at all by? Can I make like an acrobatics or a dexterity or something for him to like do that cool like Zorro move where they kind of like put their tip of their boot underneath it and just kind of
Kick
like
it up.
rapier back up without bending down?
That's a pretty low acrobatics check. Go ahead and roll me acrobatics.
Are you serious?
Oh my god. All right. You,
Ow.
with another natural one, you get your boot underneath the rapier. And as you kick it up to try and get it to a place where you can reach it, the rapier across the room. It's about 15 feet away. And Nore looks at you and says, "Get yourself together.
Sorry, I'm trying.
If I were an actual threat, you'd be dead right now. You're unarmed."
Yeah. Well, if you were an actual threat, I would also be using magic and I would be getting the hell out of here.
What if you were out of spells?
Well, then I'd be dead, I guess.
Go get your fucking sword.
You're gonna let me do that? You have a shot. You have a shot on me. Take a shot.
No. Go get your sword.
Okay. He's gonna book it.
She makes an attack of opportunity.
Yeah. Honestly, I actually really love this for Tam. This is like exactly, if I were gonna write this is exactly how this would go.
She spends her reaction for an attack of opportunity. That's a 14 to hit.
That is my armor class.
Oh my god. Okay. Let's see.
He's wearing leather armor. He doesn't have studded or anything. He's wearing what he was given.
It should be studded.
No, it's just when I got it, it was just regular leather armor.
If that's what you got from D&D Beyond, yes, but you should have studded leather from the Merryguard Academy.
Oh, well then.
We can edit that.
Should be higher then. That's neat.
It's, I believe. Let me look. Leather gives you an AC of 11.
Of 11. I think studded leather is 12.
It is, yes.
But we can ask. Yeah, okay. I'll pretend that my AC is 15, and then I'll fix that.
Okay.
Cool. It doesn't.
So that does not hit. Okay. You manage to duck underneath the swing of the short sword, just as she basically just lashes out as you're running to get your rapier.
He will grin over his shoulder and be like, "Okay, that was slick. That was smart." Then he'll get his rapier. It was 15 feet away though, so he can't get all the way back to her.
Correct.
On his turn, I think. Yeah. So he will kind of keep some space between them, but then it's her turn.
Okay. One moment. All right, she runs up to you and makes another attack. That's a 15 to hit. It's like the dice heard. That is your new AC. All right. That is 5 points of non-lethal damage. How are you looking?
He's not looking good. He's got 6 left. He's on his feet, but
All
Doesn't
right.
look good.
It's your turn.
Okay, no more called shots. He's just gonna take another attack. Hilarious. That's a 3 on the die.
That
Hopefully all of my bad rolls are getting out now, and then
hopefully
like if
now,
there's
yeah.
actual danger, will not roll 3 natural ones and a 3.
As you miss, Norre just kind of bats the rapier swing away, and she stops attacking you for the moment.
Yeah.
And she looks over at Tally, and Tally looks over at you two. And as this moment of just eye contact happens, Norre says, "Look, you got a long way to go, Tim.
His tail droops.
You're good with your instrument, but when it comes to actually fighting, you don't have the knack. Or at least you don't have the experience." And
No.
Norre puts her short sword away and slides the shield onto her back. Tally, who was watching the fight intently, looks at you, Tam, and says, "So what do you think went wrong?"
Apart from everything,
Yeah.
well, I don't think my heart was in it, for one thing.
Okay. Do you believe Norre's was?
Yeah.
Norre shakes her head.
Oh. I think I may be a little afraid of the sword.
Your sword.
Well, really kind of both. I'm not really used to hurting people. I know that that's a thing with adventures. I feel like I would be better at if it were a monster, but if it's like a person that I know and I like, that's harder.
Tam? And Tally, clasps her fingers together. It's about mentality. Alright? When you're in a fight, it doesn't matter who it is that you're fighting. If you find yourself in a situation where somebody's trying to kill you, it doesn't matter how well you knew them a moment ago. You need to take it seriously. You need to take it as if every swing of your blade could be the last one. So unless you're willing to lay down and die, just to the sake of your enemy's convenience, you need to fight like you mean it. No matter the situation, whether it would just be training or actual life or death. That's why I said no magic. If it's a situation where you could just magic yourself away, there's no real combat, is there? You could just teleport. Or you could just charm the person into not attacking you.
But that's what I'm good at.
Right, but you're not going to be in a situation where you're good at everything you do.
Yeah, okay.
Of course, you're good at charming people not to attack you. Why would you practice that? You're already good at it.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
as a Merigard contractor, there's going to be situations where you're in a tight spot, where you've used all your spells, or you've used all your magic to help your allies, and you find yourself face to face with an orc, or a thief, or some assassin, or something like that. Someone that wants you dead. Are you going to let that happen?
No. Well, I mean, I'll try harder. Squares his shoulders.
It's not about trying. It's yes or no, do or don't.
Okay, I will. I will fight for my life.
You notice that
Right.
Tally is remarkably more sincere about this than most cases.
Interesting. Okay. I will fight for my life and the lives of my teammates.
Good. As a bard, a lot of the time you don't have to raise your weapon. A lot of the time you're going to be spending all of your energy making sure that your allies are up and well, or in situations to their advantage. Which is great and all, but if you find yourself in a situation where you have to draw your weapon, it's because your allies are not in a position to help you. And when you draw your weapon, you'd better mean it.
Okay.
Norre is a unique circumstance. She comes from a place basically where they were fighting all the damn time. And Nori just is like seated on her stool and shrugs. And Tally continues to say, she has some advantage of experience. No. Up and coming, and I'm sure you've heard after the last time's free agency, is the Fall Festival.
Yeah. Guess I won't be very good at that, huh?
Well, that's what practice is for. So, what's going to happen next? You are going to go talk to Persh, and you are going to assemble a team of students to fight with you. And practice. Can't be another bard. Do you know of maybe 4 or 5, well, not 5, 3 or 4 individuals that you can work with?
Yeah, I do. If they're available, yeah, I do.
All right. Then you're going to go talk to Persh, and you're going to go get some training in. Because you're going to be fighting in the Fall Festival.
Okay.
All right, off you go.
He's gonna run over and give guidance to Yuthrun.
Yuthrun looks at you and says, "Oh, thank you." And he continues playing his lute. A little better now.
And then he's gonna turn to Nore and extend his hand to shake. Thanks for going easy on me.
Nore, I'm gonna roll a decision here. Nore looks at the hand and then up at you, Tam, and she says, "I'll shake it when you put me on my arse."
Okay, deal. It's gonna take a minute, I think, but okay.
Probably.
Okay. I would have you on my team if I could, though.
Is that really a good idea?
I mean, it's not allowed, but...
Right, but if it was, would that really be a good idea?
I mean, I think so.
All right.
Good at a lot of stuff that I'm not good at. Seems like actually a pretty good balance.
All right, off you go. And she picks up her flute. And off you go.
Yep.
Out into...
Can I, like, get a healing? Because they're, like, some sort of... I don't look good right now.
You can take a short rest.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. Well, am I allowed to do that? Am I allowed to? Because I was supposed to talk to Persh, like, immediately.
It's up to you.
Oh, that's a hard choice. I think he's going to take his licks. Because he doesn't know. He, as far as he knows, he's just talking to people right now. So he's gonna... I guess he's probably... I feel like he's got, like, a big bruise, like, forming, like, on his face.
He looks pretty messed up.
He's got his rapier, and he just, like, it is very clear that he's had his ass kicked. He'll go down to Persh.
All right. You head down into the main foyer of the Merigard, and you find Persh behind his desk. And he glances up.
Hi.
Good morning.
Morning. I'm supposed to practice some combat for the Fall Festival.
Looks like you could use it.
Yeah. Yeah, really. So I'm supposed to put a team together, I guess?
That's right, if you happen to have a number of individuals in mind.
Otherwise,
I can assist you to assemble one.
Yeah, I think, could I have, if they're available, Sagona and Antanas and Skulna?
Sagona. Let me look. Roll me a d4.
Okay. Four.
Just those 3? You don't want a 4th?
Well, they're the folks I know best.
Alright, let me see if I have anyone available as a tag on. But he then picks up the sending box and he says, "Widget, if you wouldn't mind, Tarnus for training." Thank you. He puts the sending stone down again, looks through the ledger, picks it back up. Treat I need, Sagona. Aye. For training. Thank you. Again, he does the same thing for Skolna. And then, I need you to roll me a d12.
Ooh, fun for me. One.
1. Alright, roll me a d4.
It was the day of ones, apparently.
Apparently.
1 again on the d4.
Okay. Nope, you already chose that person. Roll me a d6.
2.
2. Okay. That's interesting. It doesn't take long before the first to arrive is Taunus. She comes down the hall from the Artificer's Tower. Hello, Tam.
Hi.
What is the plan?
Well, I'm supposed to practice, for the fall festival. I don't know if I'm allowed to, like, maybe rest for a minute first, though, because, I got my ass kicked pretty bad.
You
this
do
morning.
look like you've had a number done on you.
Yeah, Nore's real tough.
I could have told you that.
Well, yeah, I could have too. I didn't expect to have to spar with her today, but I did, and I was not good at it. So, sorry if I'm not very good at this.
You hear the boisterous voice coming from down the hall. Well, we can fix that, can't we? As Sagona appears.
Hi, Sedona.
Good morning.
Morning.
What's this I hear about training?
Yeah, we're supposed to train together for the fall festival, and I had to pick a team, and everyone that I know is more competent than me. So I would be honored to learn beside you from all of the things that you're good at.
Well, let's fucking do it then.
Please and thank you.
Oh, yeah. And you see that she is brandishing her mace with enthusiasm.
If there's anyone that knows how to fight, it's you three. And also Skolna. I don't know if she's here yet, but honestly, I probably won't know if she's here because she's so sneaky.
You hear from next to you. I'm here.
Yeah, I thought, hi, Skolna. I thought you were.
The last one, you hear the rattle of steel on steel, of heavy armor. Emerging in the room is an individual you've never seen before. A man in full plate armor with a long sword on his belt and a huge shield on his arm. A kite shield, to be specific.
Human?
You don't know. He's wearing a full helmet.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
But as he appears, Perse says, Hiram, you had to work with these individuals today in the training room. We'll see how you fit. And you hear from beneath the helmet, good enough for me.
Hi, Hiram. I'm Tam.
The individual looks at you and at the rest of them and says, good morning.
Good morning. Do you know everybody here?
No, I don't know any of you.
Okay. Tam will introduce everybody energetically and be like, this is Skolna. She's real good at sneaking, and she's really good at not being seen, and she can kind of like come out of the shadows. And then this is my friend Taunus, and she's really good at a lot of things that she can make. I don't want to like give away all of her secrets. He looks kind of conspiratorially at her. But she's a really good fighter. And then there's Sagona. I'm surprised you haven't met her. She's great. She's everywhere, and she's a cleric, and she's good at healing and good at hitting things. Seems like you're pretty good at hitting things too, huh?
I've been training a lot. I haven't been around much.
Oh. Well, thanks for your assistance. Appreciate it.
I'm always good for a scrap. I have a bit of a temper issue.
Oh. Well, that's okay. We can keep you balanced, yeah?
I don't think that's what you want me for.
Oh. Well, I appreciate your help, and I'm excited to see what you can do.
And as you say that, Persh says, "All right. Now, have any of you worked in the training room before?" There is a group of head shakes, and Persh sighs, and he says, "All right. Follow me." And he heads toward a door that you never noticed before. It is a door that's set into an archway, just to the right of Persh's desk, on the opposite side of the hall from the selections room. As he pushes open the door, and he gestures for you all to follow him, he leads the way into the training room, which is this massive, arena. There's no other word for it. And as you are entering the room, you notice there is this mist that permeates the air.
Okay.
As he leads the way, Persh says, "This training room is arranged by our good friend Tabernac. It is a welcome resource for our trainees to prepare themselves for monsters and other real fights that you'll find out in the world."
Convenient.
I agree. Now, should you find yourself knocked unconscious here in the training room, you will come to in about a minute. There are no fatal blows in the training room.
Good, because I can't take very many hits right now. I might need a little rest or to heal myself up before we start, I think.
You should feel yourself already feeling better here in a few minutes.
Oh, okay.
And he leads the way into the training room. And as all of you follow, you are in a massive pit.
Whoa.
The roof of this room appears to be well over 60 feet high. And there are what looks like almost amphitheater-like steps that could be used as seating all around this pit, though they are empty. As you are looking around this room, you hear Sagona next to you say, Where does our opposition come from?" And Persh says, "Well, typically, if you choose to fight other Merigard teams, they'll come in through the door you just left. But in most cases, the training room's real advantage is Tabernac has arranged for all sorts of magical constructs based on real monsters you can find out in the wild. You can practice against them here."
Okay. He's gonna look at it. Is it pretty much empty the same way that it is on the map?
Yep, there's no cover. It's just a big open room with sand on the ground.
There's no places to, like, hide or anything?
Nope. Because out in the wild, the worst situation you can find is being caught out in the open. You want cover, you make it yourself. And next to you, Tana says, "I have a tool for that."
Do you?
Yeah, of course I do.
Of course you do. Tam will minor illusion, like, a little rock that is Sagona-sized. Or not Sagona-sized, that is Skullna-sized, that she could, like, hide behind. But, like, understands also that, like, it's not
an
useful,
illusion.
really.
Yeah.
It's only one. It's one rock.
Skullna looks at it, and she kind of puts her hand into it. And she says, Not perfect.
Yeah, Not perfect.
Tanis kind of rolls her eyes and she twists a ring on her finger, and as she does, a small amount of this aerosol spray jets out of the ring onto a patch of dirt next to you. And with a sudden, she casts Mold Earth, and a 5-foot cube of earth is pulled up and out of the floor and sits on the ground next to it.
Whoa, that's way better.
Skolna looks at it and she says, Yeah, it is.
You want to make a couple of these to set up? Is that allowed, Persh?
Persh is like looking at the group of you, and he says, Yeah, if you have any setup you can think of. For the most part, I will choose your opponents from my catalogue back at my desk. When the portcullis shuts, be ready for a fight. Otherwise, go ahead and fill yourselves with your own skills as a team, and I'll see you all shortly. And Persh walks out of the arena.
How is Tam feeling at this point in terms of his HP? Should he do a cure wound? I'm not totally sure how the mechanic works.
So, in this arena, every minute you recover 1 hit point.
Oh, okay. So if they spend, he has 6. So if they spent like a couple more minutes like talking, he would be up at full.
Yep.
And doing some like Mold Earth and strategizing and stuff like that.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Rad.
the way this is going to work, every round of combat, the NPCs in your party are going to have their own initiative, but you are going to tell me how they behave. If you tell me they attack, I will use what they know how to do to attack. If you tell me that they try and cast a spell to heal or for utility, I will use what they have to fulfill that task.
And Tam doesn't really know. I can basically do what I remember them doing because that's what Tam knows that they know how to do.
Well, you, the player, are going to make the choices for the NPCs. Gotcha. Tam will give. It's the idea is Tam is giving the orders as the leader of the party, but you, the player, are telling me I want this NPC to, slow the enemy somehow or something like that.
Cool. So is there a way that we can like set up some little blocks and stuff with Mold Earth for Sagona so like we can have a little bit of cover? Can we?
Yes. Tell me where.
Oh my goodness. I feel like maybe scattered around. So like I don't know if.
I will say you'll have enough time for like 6 blocks.
For like 6 blocks? Cool. We can maybe put one here. I want to give Sagona some options.
You mean Skolna?
Sorry, Skolna. They both have S names.
It's true, they do. You signed up for this.
Yeah, right? And then maybe here. Yeah, I don't know wherever these creatures are going to appear, but maybe here. For some reason, pinging only worked that one time.
You just try holding it down again.
Oh, there we go. Give Skolna some options. How about here?
Okay.
And of course, like, if the thing appears in the other side of the arena, then that's not useful, but, it's something. Oh, I guess that's 5.
You have 1 more.
I have 1 more. How about over here?
Okay. You instruct Tanis, and she, at the end of it, she'll be like over here. Where do you want your party to be laid out before the portcullis shut?
And we have no idea what it is that we're facing,
no idea.
Right?
No idea. It's up to Persh.
Okay, so maybe I'm gonna spend a little bit of time talking to Hiram, being like, hey, seems like you maybe want to be up in front, right, wherever this thing comes out.
I'm best up close.
Okay. So I feel like maybe spreading out. If we don't know where this thing, if it's gonna come out of the portcullis, maybe we should be on. I'm gonna ask.
I can move real fast.
Okay, that's good to know. So how about, do you want to come up by this block over here, maybe?
He goes there?
Yeah. And then Skolna should hide behind one of these blocks, I think. Skolna should,
She picks this one.
Okay, cool. Or Sagona, sorry. Skolna should
I figured what you meant.
Sorry. And then Sagona, let's see. I'm actually gonna ask her, like, you like to be up in the fight too, right? Or do you prefer to...
She kind of looks at you and she says, I can handle it from close or far away.
Okay.
What's probably better is if I'm close to people that might take a hit.
Yeah, okay. Well, how about you go kind of around here, close to Hiram? Because it seems like he might take a hit first if he's the
She
one
goes
that
there.
goes up there. And then Ham, Ham himself, I guess he's a little bit better from farther away too. So he'll go here and he'll like hide behind one of these blocks here. I guess he'll be on this side of it. So
Okay.
they're all kind of spread out a little bit in this kind of looking for the portcullis. Do you want to hide too, Taunus, or would you prefer to be up where you are?
Taunus looks over at you and she says, I'm best at a medium range, so I can react wherever they appear.
Okay, sounds good.
Uh,
Okay,
as you say okay, almost on cue, I need you to roll me a D100 as the
okay.
portcullis shuts.
14.
14. Hold on. Okay. It is almost as though the mist seems to coalesce. And I need to roll some dice. Where these monsters appear is random.
Okay.
Okay, so hold on. The first monster appears here. It is a strange dust creature with pointed wings and a long nose. Go ahead and roll me an Arcana.
Okay. I am just rolling so poorly. That's a 5.
You don't know what it is.
No idea. I am. Oh, please roll better in combat, Tam.
Next one appears here, and the last one. Okay, it's a fair spread. The last one appears here. All right. I would like it if you would do me the favor of rolling initiative.
Sure can. Okay, that's better. 22.
Okay, you are going first, Tam. As these strange creatures surge out of the ground. Hold on. Taunus has a chance to know what they are. Taunus says, these are dust mephits. They are weak to fire.
Okay, that's good to know. I wish I had some fire. Okay, Tam doesn't actually have a lot from range.
Well,
What
it's your turn. What do you do?
is my turn? Well, the thing is, he's also 30 feet away from the. Well, I think that's the closest one. Let's see that way.
Don't forget, you can always hold actions to do things when certain triggers occur.
That's true. I can hold actions. I think. Yeah, I'm so used to playing a bard with a crossbow that I'm sort of like, it's range. What do I do? Okay, so I think Tam is going to. Tam is gonna say, okay, they're all over the place. Me and Taunus go after the ones that are closest to you, and we can try to hit them together. So he's gonna kind of focus on this one,
Okay.
and hold his action. To he'll run up this way, and then hold his action to attack a bit. He's gonna kind of come out to like he's the one that's gonna be attacked first, and he'll hold his action to hit it with his rapier.
Okay. Then, having her to attack the clones closest to them, Hiram will surge up to this one, brandishing his longsword as he does so. He rolls a 10 to hit, because I rolled really bad, which does not hit. Unfortunate. But it is now Taunus' turn. She will move here next to this cover, and as she does, she will reach into her pouch, pull out a small, well, basically a bullet, a ball that goes in a sling, and she casts Catapult on it, hurtling it toward this entity. It needs to make a saving throw. Hold on. It rolled a 13, which fails. And so, the catapult deals 16 points of damage.
Hell yeah.
Slamming into the creature and just basically almost destroying it in one hit.
Cam's orb is pink.
It's now Skulna's turn. Skulna, seeing this one is a little closer to her, she will run this way, peek out from behind this cover, and fire her short bow.
She gets sneak attack?
She does. An advantage, because they did not detect her.
Amazing.
It's a 19 to hit, which will certainly succeed.
Heck yeah, one shot at Skulna.
She deals 18 points of damage total. It is nearly destroyed.
Incredible.
With her bonus action, she will dip back behind cover and hide. Hold on. Yeah, she's hidden. Okay, it's now Sigona's turn. Sigona, looking around at all the combat, will focus her own holy symbol, which surges with lightning. She's going to cast Sacred Flame. Just basic cantrip on this guy. Let's see how he rolls with his dex save. He rolled a 5. Okay.
I'm rolling poorly, but so are they.
So are they. Okay, this one takes 8 points of damage from that. And it is now their turn. The one in front of Hiram is going to make its claw attack. It has a lot of AC to contend with, though. A 17 does not hit Hiram. You hear the claws scrape off the shield. The next one is going to surge up to you.
And my attack goes off.
That's true. Go ahead and roll your attack.
That's a 12.
Their AC is 12.
Amazing! He barely hits it.
He barely hits it. Level 1. Or level 2.
Level 2 now.
Level 2.
That's pretty good damage, though. It's an 8 points of damage.
Okay, this one was already hurt from the catapult. And so, when it is destroyed, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, no! Oh, that's a 19! 23. It's a 23 total. 19 on the die.
That is successful. You are not blinded by the dust suddenly from the explosion of this strange creature.
Amazing. Good hit, Taunus.
Thank you, she says as she is preparing her rings. The last one runs up to Sigona and is going to claw attack her. That's an 11 to hit, which doesn't hit anybody. Okay. And it's now your turn once more.
Okay. Let's see. Having destroyed this one and still not quite being in range of the one that, Sigona is near, he's gonna run up. What is this? This is 30 feet. He'll run up 30 feet, and I guess he has one offensive attack that he can do from range, and that is Dissonant Whisper, so he'll cast that.
Okay, what's the save?
To be helpful. The save is, what is the save? 14 is my spell save.
Is it a wisdom save?
It is a wisdom save, yes.
It rolled a 7.
Amazing, it fails.
What happens?
It fails, and so it takes 15 points of psychic damage.
It explodes in a burst of dust. I need to make a con save for Sagona.
She's great at this. She drinks all the time.
She's a dwarf. She's very good at this. She is not blinded by the dust explosion from this mephit. And Sagona says, "Oh! You kind of warned me." Ugh.
I'm gonna toss. Sorry, I'm gonna toss Bardic Inspiration to Hiram.
Okay.
And say they explode when they get hit. You gotta be careful. Keep your eyes clear.
Got it. That your turn?
That's my turn.
RM's turn. He's going to swing his long sword at this mephit. And he will probably tack that Bardic Inspiration on top. No, he rolled a 19 to hit. He'll save it. He'll save it for the con save, maybe. He slashes. It is already almost dead, and so, yeah, it explodes, as it had 1 hit point left. Hiram will roll a con save. And he will add the Bardic.
Yay, the Bardic was useful.
And it succeeds with the added Bardic. He's not blinded. As the mephits are destroyed, and the combat encounter slows to an end, your party looks around, looking for other threats, but they're not there. And the mephits...
Okay?
Everyone looks around, and Hiram says, "They didn't touch me much."
I don't think they touched anybody. I think that was well done, team.
Damn right it was. No fucking problem.
No problem. Guess they gotta give us a harder one.
Sagona cracks her knuckles and looks around, and Taunus says, "I do wish I hadn't burned that catapult. That was overkill."
I guess my spell might have been too, but hey, we toasted him pretty fast.
Yes, we did. It's all a matter of gauging our enemy, I think. It's a good start there.
Well, you didn't know what we were up against. Now we do. Or at least that thing. We know that thing.
Great. And she looks around. The portcullis opens, and Persh emerges. Right. Not bad for a first go-around.
Can we do another one?
If you'd like to. I figured we'd get you through a few of them, just so you can see how you work together and what you think of the training room.
I like it.
Good. All right. Go ahead, get yourselves reorganized, and I will see what I have to throw at you.
Okay. Can we all, do we all roll stealth or something if we start hidden? Is it possible to... I guess we don't know where they're gonna...
You can roll stealth when they appear to try and hide from them.
Cool.
As you all kind of get yourself set up, and Persh leaves the room once more. And so, as you take your positions and get ready...
I would like to say for flavor that Tam also offers his cleansing stone to anyone that got hit by the dust.
Everyone accepts the offer. The mist is clinging, and while it is not unpleasant, it smells of lilac and lavender. It's very floral and really feels kind of out of place for this arena that you are currently in. Everyone is grateful to you to let them clean up, just from the sweat of the short adrenaline spike that the fight brought upon. I need you to roll me another D12.
I'm on it.
Or no, a D100, sorry.
D100? Got it. 75.
Okay. Going a little harder. Okay. Interesting. All right.
I like the kind of the setup of we all maybe are hiding except for Hiram.
Yeah, Hiram's just kind of out in the open. His head is on a swivel as he's out there. Go ahead and, as the portcullis shuts, roll me a stealth. And I will roll for everybody else as well.
Terrible. 8. Tam is not stealth.
Okay. Stealth is not hiding. Okay, here's Taunus. Taunus rolls a 19.
Amazing.
Sagona is at disadvantage due to her heavy armor. She's on a 9.
Yeah, it's HT and Tam.
Skolna is basically invisible. Alright. She rolled a natural 20.
Of course.
Which is not necessary because her stealth is already crazy good. But
It's incredible, yeah.
alright, I have a couple more dice to roll as we render this new combat. Okay.
Should I roll initiative also?
Not yet. Wait until your foes are on the board. Okay. All right. That's interesting. It's a much tighter appearance this time. All right. Go ahead and roll initiative.
Okay. Oh my god, terrible that time. 6.
All right. Sagona, Hiram, Thomas. Wow. All right.
Bad initiative from everybody?
Bad initiative from everybody.
Oh no.
That's how it goes sometimes. Yep.
We were overconfident.
As the fight begins, suddenly coalescing out of the mist are flaming dwarven creatures wielding weapons as they appear. And do you speak Dwarvish?
I don't think I do.
Okay.
I do not.
They say something you don't understand. And
I'm gonna look immediately at Sagona.
she's shaking her head, and when she sees that you're looking at her, she says, "They have a foul mouth."
Well, yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Can you talk to them? Maybe they just want a beer.
As it's running up to you, and
Like
it's
half
going to
of
make a Warhammer attack on you. Sagona, like, points and says, "Eyes up!" as it's running up to you. And it swings its Warhammer at you, Tam, for a 21 to hit.
Yeah, it'll hit.
Okay. You take 5 points of bludgeoning damage from this strange flaming dwarf. This one runs over to Sagona and will also make a Warhammer attack. Sagona's AC is much better than yours, and that does not hit. Okay. This one does not see Taunus. Let me roll to see which of you two it goes after. Okay, it's going after you, Tam. You got 2 on you.
Great.
That's a 22 to hit.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Actually, can I silvery barbs that?
Yeah?
Let's
All right,
silvery
I'll
barb.
roll again. Who do you give advantage to?
I'm going to give advantage to Taunus.
All right, and your silvery barbs make that a 9 to hit.
Perfect, doesn't hit me.
Okay.
Use
You, for a
that.
moment, see a possibility in the future of a hammer slamming into your abdomen, and you... and the distraction makes the Azer miss. It is now Sagona's turn, and Sagona is face-to-face with this individual, and she says, "All right, I'll show you how to talk properly to a lady." And she swings her mace at this individual.
You have a foul mouth too, Sagona.
"Fuck you, Tom!" And she hits with an 18. And she slams it for 9 points of bludgeoning damage.
Damn, cheers.
But that's
You're
Sagona's...
so lucky.
That's Sagona's turn. It's now Taunus' turn, who was successfully hit, and she will reveal herself as she hurls. She raises her hand, and a freezing ray out of her ring. Blasts the Azer behind you. Let me roll to see if it hits. At Ray of Frost. That will hit with a 19. Okay. Damage. She deals 7 points of cold damage to that Azer. And then, seeing that you are in a bit of a tight spot, she draws her... well, she doesn't really draw anything. Suddenly you see there is a contraption in her hand, and she darts across the battlefield, providing flanking to you with this Azer. It's now Skolna's turn. Skolna, all sneaky beaky like, is going to... Well, what are you going to... What would you like Skolna to do? Which do you want her to attack?
I think same idea. If she's closer to the one to Skolna, Tam will shout, go to the one, good, gang up on it if you can. I think it seems like she's maybe closer to this one.
She can actually get to melee range on this one. She can't quite.
All right, then he'll be like, okay, help.
Skolna will run over to this one. Skulking up and making an attack with her short sword.
She get advantage because she was sneaky?
Yes.
Amazing.
That does hit with a 21. She'll get sneak attack. She deals 15 points of damage to this Azer.
Incredible.
Rogue. She will then bonus action disengage and drop behind this box.
Rad. Amazing. Thanks, Skolna.
It's your turn.
Creature's flanked. He's gonna try it with his sword again. His rapier. He gets advantage, which is good, because that's a 9, but that is a 21.
21 hits.
And that is minimum damage.
4.
4 points of slashing to this thing.
Okay. You stab the Azer for 4 points of damage. Is that it?
Yep.
All right.
Well, is it? I think we have the advantage already happen with Tanis. He's gonna throw Bardic to Sagona.
Okay. What does it sound like?
It's gonna be like a really filthy limerick.
Okay. There once was a man from Nantucket. All right.
He's gonna try to like out foul mouth Sagona because he thinks that she'll find that funny.
Okay. Where does Hiram go?
Where does Hiram go? I feel like
You remember he said he can move very
directing
fast.
to help flank with Sagona. Help Sagona with the one that's on her.
Okay. He surges up to there, flanking, getting advantage on his attack, and he will attack with advantage.
Can move fast. That's amazing for heavy armor.
That's a 24 to hit.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, he hits it for 9 points of damage. All right. That's his turn. We go to the top. Back to the Azer's turn. The Azers are going to make some attacks. The Azer that was first fighting Sagona is going to resume that and hits her for 20 with a 24.
Uh-oh.
For 4 points of damage. Okay.
Oh, of course. She takes a hit. It's fine. She's tough. It's great. She's dwarf versus dwarf. Come on.
The Azer's going to attack you, and it got a natural 20.
Can we silvery barge that also, please?
Good call.
Seems like it's a good use of a spell slot.
All right, it rolls again. That's a 20 to hit.
Okay, 20 hits. That's better than a crit.
It is better than a crit, yes. It hits you for 5 damage.
Advantage for Tanis again.
Okay. The other Azer is going to attack Tanis.
Oh, actually, can I give advantage to Sagona? Is she in my range to give advantage?
You mean Skolna?
Or Skolna?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I'll give advantage to Skolna.
Tanis does not get hit. This Azer misses. And that's it for their turn. It's now Sigona's turn. Sigona up close is going to reach out and electrocute the shit out of this individual.
Well, yeah, you are.
All right.
Praise near.
Roll for that. She hits with an 18. Dealing... that's not so good. Dealing 4 lightning damage, but it's something.
It's trading back and forth with 4 points of damage.
Yes. It's now Taunus' turn. Taunus up close, kind of reaches into the back pocket on the leather jerkin she wears, and she draws a baton that she reaches out and smacks this Azer with. Hits with a 16. Oh, no, it doesn't. That's a miss. Their AC 17. I remember the stats of my own monsters. Oh, but she has advantage. Hang on.
Hey.
That got worse. All right.
Oh, no.
It's Skolna's turn. Skolna will, being granted an advantage by you, she doesn't bother hiding. She will lean out and fire her short bow. And that hits with a dirty 20.
Amazing.
Dealing plus 2d6 for sneak attack. 15 points of damage again. This Azer collapses with an arrow in the back of its head.
Yay!
Skolna will then run here and stealth.
Fabulous. Do that next.
It's your turn.
Okay. Well, I don't have advantage anymore. And I'm not looking good. I think so. Tam has a free cure wounds that he can do once a day, but I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's been beaten up enough, and he really wants to get better at this combat thing. So he's gonna attack the thing in front of him with his rapier.
Okay.
But he's gonna kind of motion to Taunus to can you help me with this?
I'll be there in a moment.
That is a 19 on the die, so that's a 24 to hit.
Yeah, that certainly hits.
It's 5 damage. It's only 5 damage though.
Okay. All right, it's Hiram's turn. What does he do?
He has advantage on that thing.
He's attacking. All right.
Go for it.
All right. That is a natural 20. Okay, he crits, dealing 14 points of slashing damage to this Azer. It is barely standing. That's Hiram's turn. It's now the Azer's turn. The Azer facing you is going to swing at you with its warhammer. That is 13 to hit.
That does not hit me.
Okay.
I'm still up.
The other Azer is going to attack Sigona again.
Dwarf on dwarf violence.
That's a 17 to hit, which will hit Sigona.
Oh no!
Sigona takes 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
But she's fine.
At the moment, she is okay. It's now Sigona's turn. She didn't like getting hit. She will swing her mace. She has advantage. She hits with a 17. And she deals 10 points of bludgeoning damage. She rolled max damage.
Incredible.
And that Azer is destroyed. And then Sigona will look over and sees that you are not looking so good. And as she runs in your direction, she says, "Get fucking better, you twit!" And she heals you with a healing word. Hold on. You heal for 8.
Amazing.
That was
I
her.
sure am trying.
It's Taunus' turn. Taunus will run behind the one that you're facing as you asked her for help, for aid, and she will attack with advantage. That's a 24 to hit. That certainly hits.
Heck yeah, that'll do it, that'll do it.
She slams it for 6 points of damage. And that's Taunus' turn. It's now Skulna's turn. Skulna will run. Seeing the end of the fight is near, she's going to attack with advantage because of stealth. That's a 24 to hit, a natural 19.
Hell yeah, and sneak attack. This thing is done.
Probably. She dealt 6 points of damage base plus 4. She dealt 10 points. That was her worst one yet. You had to say something. All right. And then as a bonus action, Skulna will disengage and just get herself a little bit of distance, being a rogue. Now it is your turn.
Well, I got advantage. Let's try to finish this thing off. Okay, that is a 17 on the die, 22 to hit.
That hits. Go ahead and roll your damage.
The other one was a 3. Come on, I don't know how much it can take. Oh, that's an 8. That's an 8. Does that do it?
8 points of damage. It is still up, but it is looking terrible. It is.
But Tam feels more confident as he hits the thing.
All right. It's now Hiram's turn. Now.
Can you get over here, Hiram?
Let's see. No, he gets here.
Okay.
But as he ends up there, he puts the longsword away and hurls a javelin. Because why not? As he throws the javelin, that's a 13 to hit, which misses. The javelin over and into the sand behind. And you hear him say, "Sorry."
That's okay. We all miss sometimes.
It's now the Azer's turn, and it's going to swing at you. Because you stabbed it, and it's been fighting you the whole time. That is a 21 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit me.
Okay.
Thanks for that healing word, Sagona. I'm probably good down otherwise.
It deals 9 points of bludgeoning damage to you.
That would have taken me down.
That's its turn. You're welcome. And never forget it.
I won't. I never will.
And now it's Sagona's turn. Sagona, on her way over, will raise her hands with the holy symbol in it and cast Sacred Flame, demanding a dexterity save from this individual. They're not super dexterous, believe it or not. And it rolled a 7. So
amazing.
It will take Sacred Flame's damage. It's a 4. 4 points of radiant damage. Not great, but
Did you do it?
It is still up. And now it is Taunus' turn. Sagona will finish her move. No, she's in melee with this thing. It's getting gangbanged. Taunus is going to attack at advantage with her baton. She hits it with a 17. That is its AC.
You can do it. Take it down. Take it down, Taunus.
She hits it for 7 damage, which does finish it.
You're incredible.
As Sagona blasts it with radiant damage and the Azer whips around to look at what happened, Taunus is right there, and she raises the baton and just... and the Azer on the ground, dead. Whew. That's all a day's work.
That one was harder, but we did it. We did it.
And with that, the combat is finished.
Wow, I have so much adrenaline now. That was really fun, actually.
And Taunus looks over at you, and she says, "Do you feel more confident?"
Yeah, I think so.
You
I don't
seemed
know.
like it at the end there.
Yeah, well, I think it's easier for me if I know there's other people around me. If it's just me by myself, it's a little harder. I'm not as good at defending myself just by myself, you know?
I understand that, but you can always trust us to have your back.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
you were all amazing.
I don't know about you. And she says, as she's looking at Hiram, who says, "I'm assigned to this squad, so I'll help you."
You were great, though. Thank you so much for your help. You're so fast in that armor.
He kind of shrugs.
I don't know if I could even wear it. Seems like it would pin me down to the floor.
It doesn't weigh that much.
I think you're being modest. Oh my gosh. And my goodness, those little barriers that you made, Taunus, that was great. I think that really made it easier for everybody to hide.
Never underestimate the value of having some cover. It can really turn a battle in your favor.
Yeah, I mean, Skulna taught me that the one time. It wasn't really a battle, but we had to hide from a guy for a long time, and it was really useful. Thanks, everybody. You did great. I think we make a pretty good team.
As you say that, the portcullis opens, and Persh emerges. He looks around the battlefield at the... now that he's looking at them, Tam, you notice that the bodies of the Azer, they don't bleed the way you'd expect they would. Instead, where you see there are wounds, instead of there being, red blood and muscle, instead you see it's a blue gelatin
What?
substance inside them.
Weird.
And they are evaporating into mist.
He's gonna kind of elbow Saguna and be like, I don't think all dwarves don't bleed blue, right? What was going on with them?
I don't know, magic or some shit.
Magic or some shit? Okay, that's fair.
It's not my problem, is it? We killed them.
Well, I just, you know dwarf stuff, and I don't.
No, we bleed red, same as you.
That's what I figured.
Only better
And
because
you're
we're dwarves.
a little bit more polite.
Right. Don't flatter me. And Persh looks around and says, all right, that's not a bad day's work. You're all welcome to keep training here if you'd like. The fall festival's in a month, and so as you practice, you will obviously become better at working together. And the most competent teams are always the ones that have the best chance of winning, as it were. So, anytime you're off duty, or anytime your instructor gives you the go-ahead, you are welcome to come talk to me about using the training room. Additionally, if I arrange a scrimmage, and I call you to show up for that scrimmage, you'd best do so, or you'll hear from me about it, and you don't want to do that.
Yes, sir.
No. I'm going to go get some lunch. All of you can go ahead and rest up and heal in here, but make sure you do not spend any more time in here than you need to. If you fall asleep whilst under the influence of the healing mist, the Tabernacle says there is a chance that you could go insane. So,
Wow.
you do not want to have an overexposure.
That's why everybody doesn't want to just hang out in here all the time.
Yes. You use it, and then you leave it.
Okay.
And as he's talking, over time, you watch as the mist seems to have been kind of wearing away at the earthen cubes that were just unearthed. And they deteriorate until they smooth down to a sand floor once again.
Okay. Am I okay to heal back up to full
Yes.
while we're in here?
Your whole
That's really-
party can heal up to full. Whoopsie.
Yeah, can we say while we're doing that, we're like maybe kind of debriefing and talking strategy and
Sure.
excitedly Tam be like, and then this happened, and then you were really great when you did this, and maybe next time you should try it this way. Like, I think this is the kind of thing that he'd actually be good at, like the talking before and after the setup and the strategizing and the talking about it and the kind of learning from how things went. That's the part that he's good at. In the
Sure.
moment.
And your party seems mostly receptive. Hiram doesn't know you. Everybody who does know you is very much like nodding along and listening and making their own comments. And as you are getting ready to leave the arena, Hiram looks at you, Tam, and he says, "You have a very unusual attitude for a mercenary."
Right. What?
I don't know how else to say that. You're very upbeat for a soldier.
Oh yeah. People say that. I like people. I find them fascinating, and I try really hard to see the good in folks.
You know, sometimes you're gonna have to kill them, right?
Yeah, I'm learning that. I know. I didn't really come here with that in my head.
Then why
But
did
I'm
you come
learning.
here?
Because I came here looking for something. I think I might be finding it.
And the fact that you might have to kill people, does it bother you?
Well, yeah, a little. But I like to think the kinds of free agencies and stuff that I've been going on at first, they've put me in harm's way, but not really. Most of the stuff that I've been able to do has been kind of playing to my strengths. I've been able to negotiate things and talk to people, and there's a lot of problems that you can solve just by talking. And the stuff that you can't solve by talking, well then, yeah, sure, you gotta draw a sword, but you want to start with the solutions that keep everybody level-headed and alive. Nobody dies if nobody has to draw.
I wish it was always that simple.
Yeah, I know it's not. And I know that the other stuff is the stuff I gotta work on, but maybe sometimes, occasionally, it can be that simple.
Where are you from?
Keo, where are you from?
Nosfidania.
Do I know anything? What do I know about
Roll a history
Nosfidania?
check.
Come on. Nope. 9.
Hmm. You know it's a country. You know it's famous for horses.
Okay. I don't really know a lot about that place. There's the horses there. I imagine maybe violence, if you're saying what you're saying.
There's violence everywhere.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, there's horses there. I grew up raising horses.
Did you really?
Yep.
Can I insight that?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
No? I don't know if he's pulling my leg or not.
Go ahead and roll insight.
20.
He seems to be telling the truth. He doesn't seem to have a reason to lie about that.
Okay. Is that how come you're so fast in that armor?
No.
That's
I
important.
guess you could say I learned that from my family.
Oh. That's some trick.
I guess. He seems to not really know what to do with that question. My family values nature, and nature is violent sometimes.
Yeah, I guess that's true. My family values magic, and magic is harmful a lot of the time.
I would say magic is harmful most of the time.
Yeah, you're not always wrong there, friend, but I mean, not always though. I mean, it can be used to heal too.
Of course it
I'm
can.
pretty good at, I'm pretty good at that, but not always.
How many spells do you know that hurt people?
One.
No. I mean, how many spells have you heard of out there that hurt people?
Oh, well, a lot. Most of the rap the magic gets, I think, is generally pretty bad.
Maybe for good reason.
Maybe, but it doesn't always have to be that way. I come from clerics, so they got some pretty particular views on magic.
Of course it doesn't have to be that way. It's a tool.
Yeah,
Same as my longsword.
I like the idea that it's a tool to be used and not necessarily always a cudgel that you gotta hurt people with.
I think I like your attitude, Tam. I think we can get along.
Thanks, Hiram. Oh, I like you. I'd like to know more about you if you're willing. Everybody, you want to maybe go get a drink? It's the middle of the day, but we did just fight a bunch of stuff. that seems like maybe allowed.
Tanis says, perhaps instead of alcohol, we could all go get lunch? Lunch
Lunch?
sounds
Yeah,
better?
lunch. Yeah, good. You're very smart. Thank you.
I
Yes,
am,
Thomas.
yes. Thank you for
Yeah, you
noticing.
are. I, it doesn't take much to notice with you, Thomas, but yeah, of course.
I
Let's
could
get
eat.
lunch.
Right, well, off we go to the Merry God then.
There's
Right?
apparently this like pepper steak that somebody told me about that's apparently really good. Maybe they have that.
I love me a good pepper steak. Absolutely. Especially when it has the little peppercorns mushed into it. You bite them and they just mash into your teeth. It's delicious. I love it.
I haven't had it before. I'll try it.
And the party leaves the training room and heads out toward the Merryguard. But as it does, you are stopped at the front desk by Persh.
Oh, I'm sorry, Persh. Are we not allowed to leave yet? Do we have more stuff to do?
Just one thing, really. I told you that the Fall Festival was in a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you know about the totems?
The little thingies around the monster's necks?
Right, yeah. There are no rules regarding the totems. You can acquire them from the monsters or from the other teams by any means necessary.
He looks immediately at Skulna.
Skolna has a dagger and is picking at her teeth with it. Roll me an insight check.
Okay. It's not bad. 17.
Skolna, while she appears to be giving the image that she's not listening, she is. You know that she's paying attention. She seems as though she always is. Persh goes on to say, all that matters is that by the end of the festival, when the monsters are cleared and the suns rise, we count the totems. If your team has the most totems, you win. It's simple as that. However, as tempers can run high, as the adrenaline pumps during the fall festival, I need it to be clear. There are no intentionally fatal blows to be dealt to any other team. So if you fight another team, do so with respect. We're not out to kill students.
Of course not. We're all friends. It's just a competition.
Not everyone sees it that way.
Well, that's silly. It's a competition. We're not. We won't get very far as an organization if we try to kill each other at this like friendly game that is just a game. A dangerous game, sure, but like you know.
Tam,
Hmm.
you should never change.
Okay. I'll work on it.
No, don't. You should stay exactly as you are. The world needs
So,
more innocence. No. The point is, Treat will be standing by near a shrine screen with teleportations. So should any of you actually fall in battle, you'll be back on your feet in no time.
so it's not like we're gonna flood the whole town with mist.
No, we can't do that. Simply enough, we don't have the resources for it.
Makes sense.
But should you find yourself on death's door, fear not, for Treat will save your ass, probably. We've not had any permanent deaths yet through the Fall Festival, so that's part of the deal with the town.
Well, that's good news.
We do look after our own. Do not worry about damaging the town. We have an arrangement with the citizens and the logging district to pay for any repairs and in fact include an upgrade to any homes or businesses that are harmed during the events of the Fall Festival.
Okay.
That being said, lighting buildings on fire is not a feasible way to complete the competition.
Yeah, makes sense.
Please don't
Yeah.
vandalize the town on purpose.
Of course not.
Anyway, that's all I had for you. You all free for the rest of your day?
Thanks.
Off
Gonna
you go.
get some lunch.
Have a good time.
Bye.
And Persh goes back to his ledgers. And as you and your party go to get yourselves some food, it is that time.
Okay.
So, if there's any last thing you want to do before the end of the session, speak now or
I
forever hold your peace.
I think Tam over lunch will tell them about the rapier that he's trying to acquire because I don't think they all know about that.
Sure.
And he's gonna be like, okay, well, this is a good deadline for this. Like, it'll be better. It'll be better if I have this thing before. If we're gonna be a team, I want to be prepared. And maybe I should and he kind of was like, maybe I should get something from range, and maybe I should figure out how to use a boat. Like, he's like kind of going through all these strategic things. And he also he looks at Skullman and he's like, if we can get some of those stones non-violently, that seems like a play.
She nods and she says, I can probably do that quick and easy.
I bet you can.
I know the other rogue students too. I know how to get around them.
We got a strategy.
We'll see what we can do. And
He
she
also-
has a smirk on her face.
He also tries, but he tries, but he also tries not to look like he's trying to sit next to Tanis at lunch.
Okay. Roll a what would you roll here?
Deception?
Yeah, I think deception is the thing. Roll me deception.
7.
You just happen to be behind a little bit, and as Tanis sits down, Skolna sits on her left side, and Sagona sits on her right, and you are about to sit down right when Sagona grabs the chair, and there's just an awkward moment where your hand is on the back of the chair, and Sagona's like, what?
Nope, nothing. You're good. You will slide in across from her instead.
Okay. Slightly awkward, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It seems to be Tam's...
I would also like to say, his I imagine, I was also going to ask you about this, if he could get a little, holster thingy for his mood orb, to be on his, belt. The thing is not difficult to see.
Okay.
So I just want to, state for the record that, the heart is on the sleeve. It is not difficult to see, even if he pretends that it is.
Okay. Yeah. I'll roll this... Well, no. Just passive perception would see it. All right. Noted. I think everyone knows that there is something that is sparking Tam's affections.
Yes.
All right. That's adorable. Thank you for playing with me tonight, Emily. I had a great time, and I look forward to running for you again next week. And to anybody listening, well, thank you. We appreciate you. I hope you all have a good night, and good night, Emily.